So, guess what? I'm big! Instead of doing my overfluffed intros like I normally do, I'm just going to get straight into What's My Line Part 2. Because it really is just 3 months late, isn't it? Enjoy. The episode kicks off at the exact point where the cliffhanger left us.
I'm Kendra, the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy, really confused, harbours scepticism towards Kendra's claims of being a Slayer.
Could you stop with the Slayer thing? I'm the damn Slayer.
And Kendra reciprocates those doubts. In a bid to clarify what is going on, Buffy proposes a temporary truce, suggesting they seek counsel from Giles.
You back off. I'll back off. But you promise not to go all wiggy until we can go to my watcher and figure this out.
Meanwhile, Angel remains confined within the storage cage at Willie's, cowering from the rapidly advancing rays of sunlight that pierce through a nearby window. At the library, Giles affirms his awareness of Kendra's watcher.
What? So he's a real guy? Is it non-fictional?
The atmosphere becomes slightly charged as Willow steps into the library and is confronted by Kendra.
Back off, Pink Ranger.
Buffy referring to Kendra as a Pink Ranger always makes me smile. I absolutely adore it. Giles finally connects the dots, realising that Kendra's calling is a direct result of Buffy's demise at the hands of the Master. The tension then escalates between the two Slayers as Kendra admits that her attack on Buffy was due to her thinking she was a vampire. This was brought on after witnessing a passionate kiss between Buffy and Angel on the ice rink. Kendra then refers to Angel as Angelus,
You mean Angelus?
blatantly foreshadowing the darker turn in his storyline later in the season. Back at Willie's, Angel is weakened from sunlight exposure. Willie drags Angel out of the cage into the sewers and hands him over to Spike.
What are you going to do with him anyway?
I'm thinking maybe dinner and a movie. I don't want to rush into anything.
We then cut to the Summers residence. Cordelia is discussing makeup with a member of the Order of Taraka, blissfully unaware of his true identity. You'd think with everything that's going on, she might be a little more cautious. Never mind, she does get better at this. However, her obliviousness is shattered when she observes what appears to be a mealworm. I think it's a mealworm. It looks like a mealworm. Crawling up his sleeve. Xander swiftly intervenes and the man splats down into all of his little bloody parts. The pair sprint to the basement in a bid to escape him. Buffy and Kendra pay a visit to Willie's to rescue Angel, only to discover the vacant cage upon arrival. Willie confirms that Angel is alive, and to throw a bit of salt onto his character, he can't resist a sleazy attempt to engage with the two
I have a
Slayers.
friend with a camera. Strictly high-class nude work. You know, art photographs.
I honestly don't know why this was put in the script. It just creeps me out. It has always made my skin crawl. We already know Willie is a bit of a sleaze. There was no need for this line whatsoever. Spike then delivers Angel to Drusilla, imploring that she doesn't kill him before the ritual. To Buffy's distaste, Kendra and Giles bond over their extensive knowledge on demonology, and Kendra reveals there is a Slayer handbook.
Wait, handbook? What handbook? How come I don't have a handbook?
After meeting you, Buffy, I realised that the handbook would be of no use in your case.
Savage. Watching the pair wander away together, Buffy toys with the idea of handing the reins over to Kendra, believing this may be a way for her to get out of her Slayer duties and live that so-called normal life. Sandra and Cordelia are arguing in the basement about how to escape the Bugman. The argument escalates until their teenage hormones kick in and... I have no words. Completely disgusted at themselves, they decide to make a run for it and dash out the house. Sandra has a little too much fun with a hosepipe and they drive off down the street. A police officer running the law enforcement desk at the careers fair calls Buffy's name and shots are fired. Poor Oz catches a bullet while pushing Willow to safety, Kendra dashes in to help, and the assassin skedaddles. I do have an opinion about this scene, but I am going to leave it till the end, so just bear with me. Upon returning to school, Sandra introduces himself to Kendra, leaving her momentarily speechless. Poor thing's not allowed to talk to boys.
A hope. A thank you. I mean, sir,
Giles reveals details about the impending restoration ritual, confirming that the blood of Drusilla's sire is needed for its success.
They need Drusilla's sire. You mean the vamp that made her?
Yes.
Angel. He's Drusilla's sire.
As Drusilla tortures Angel, we are given a small insight into what he put her through when she was human, something she clearly has never gotten over, which challenges the notion that the removal of the soul eradicates all remnants of human pain. As Buffy and Kendra discuss the differences in their lives, a revelation strikes Buffy as she considers Willie's potential knowledge about the ritual's location, prompting the Slayers to head out.
That guy, the sleazoid who nearly decked in the bar.
you think he might help us?
I think we might make him.
After being roughed up a little bit, Willie caves and offers to take the Slayers to the ritual. Kendra and Buffy exchange words highlighting their different priorities regarding Angel, and the pair part ways.
Are you that big a fool?
At the church, Spike has started the ritual. Willie enters with Buffy, Kendra makes a gymnastic-style entrance, and the Scoobies follow her in. The fight begins with Xander and Cordelia dispatching of the Bugman, Buffy thwarting the ritual, and Spike resorting to setting the church ablaze. Buffy comically conks Spike on the head, knocking him out as he tries to escape with Drusilla. I honestly don't know where Spike thought he was running to in this bit. My thought was he was going to make a spike-shaped hole in the wall as he ran through. The episode concludes with Willow and Oz finally forming a connection, Xander and Cordelia falling into each other again as they attempt to discuss their kiss, and Buffy and Kendra finding acceptance and gratitude in the fact that they have someone to share their unique burden with.
I'm a freak.
Not the only freak.
Not anymore.
The final scene leaves us with a somewhat smaller cliffhanger as Drusilla is finally restored to full strength. Alrighty then. Final thoughts. The second part is nearly as fantastic as the first part. I do prefer part 1 to part 2, but obviously you need both parts for the full story. The small glimpses of Angel's past and his former rivalry / relationship with Spike, especially when Angel winds him up in hopes that he gets staked, is absolutely fantastic. It really wanted me to know more about their past. The reason for another Slayer being called feels true to the lore that had been built up for the past season and a bit up until this point. The highlighted differences between Buffy and Kendra's lives randomly made me yearn for a Kendra spin-off when this episode aired. I wanted to see how her world had changed since meeting Buffy, and if she actually managed to make friends of her own, if she managed to convince her watcher that being out in the world would actually make her a better Slayer. And Buffy actually taking a bit of perspective on her life after speaking with Kendra, after finding out Kendra was so isolated, and that Kendra was what you would refer to as a traditional Slayer as to how Buffy was. When Buffy's perspective shifted, it was a more show not tell kind of scenario, and I thought that was absolutely spot on. Also, the sibling rivalry from Buffy directed towards Kendra was fantastic. Every little quip she made to Kendra had me chuckling. And also, in retrospect, it does give you a little taste of how a relationship with Dawn is going to pan out. I do have a couple of gripes regarding this episode. The first one being the gunfire in school. I don't think it was handled great, to be honest with you. Surely, if somebody had got a gun out in school and started firing away, we would have had more police in the school. The press would have been all over that shit. And obviously the school will probably have been closed for a day too, especially as a student actually got hit by a bullet. I mean, yes, I know Oz got scraped, but still. I mean, I'm not from a nation where gun shootouts in school actually happen. I think our last one was in the 90s, so I could be completely wrong on this, but yeah, something about that just didn't reign true for me because everybody was back to going to class as normal. It was a bit weird, to be honest. Yeah, and my other gripe I've already mentioned was Spike's attempted escape from the church. So yeah, I really did think cartoon hole Spike in the wall. Where the hell was he going? Because I didn't see a door in that scene when he was running. But you know, it's 2 gripes out of a 2-parter. Can't go wrong really. It's an absolutely phenomenal 2-parter and it is definitely one of my favourites. Definitely one of my favourite storylines out of the whole show. And obviously Kendra being there paved the way for Faith to come in, which makes it all the more better. Yeah, I haven't really got much else to say. What are your thoughts on this episode? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent by it? Leave a comment down below. I hope you all have a phenomenal 2024. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.